Suppose you are sitting on a planet somewhere in the Virgo cluster. You are 65 million light years away from here. You have a telescope of unimaginable power, a telescope so good you can see the continents on Earth. You can see the trees. You can see the ground moving. You tune the focus knob and you look down at the surface of the Earth. What do you see? You do not see us. You do not see cities or highways or humans. You see dinosaurs. You see a T-Rex walking through a jungle in what is now Montana. You see a giant fern swaying in the wind. Now, here is the question that should keep you awake at night. Is the dinosaur there? You might say, well, of course not. The dinosaur is dead. The bones are in a museum. But wait, to the alien looking through the telescope, the dinosaur is moving. It is breathing. It is hunting. The light from that dinosaur is hitting the alien's eye right now. For the alien, that event is happening now. If you and I are standing here on Earth, we say the dinosaur is the past. But for the observer in the Virgo cluster, the dinosaur is the present. So who is right? Are we right because we are closer? Or is the alien right because he is seeing it happen? This brings us to a terrible realization, a realization that completely destroys your idea of time. It suggests that the past and the present and the future are not what you think they are. They are not absolute. They are like a loaf of sausage that can be sliced at different angles. We are going to find out why. We are going to find out why you cannot trust your own eyes when you look at the stars. We are going to find out why the universe is not a three-dimensional box that changes with time, but a four-dimensional block where everything that ever happened is still there. But before we get into the heavy machinery of space-time, let us start with something simple. Look at your hand. Move it back and forth. You see it move instantly, right? That is a lie. A very convincing lie, but a lie. The light bouncing off your hand takes a tiny fraction of a second to reach your eyes, about a billionth of a second. Your brain tricks you into thinking it is instant, but it is not. You are always seeing your hand as it was in the past. You are never seeing the world as it is now. You are always seeing a ghost of the world. Now, a billionth of a second does not matter much when you are shaving or drinking coffee, but what if the distance is big? What if the distance is the size of the solar system? Let me tell you a story about Ole Römer. This was way back in 1676. He was looking at the moons of Jupiter, specifically the moon Io. Io goes around Jupiter like clockwork. Every 42 and a half hours, it goes behind Jupiter and disappears. But Römer noticed something funny. When Earth was close to Jupiter, Io appeared on time. But when Earth was on the other side of the solar system, far away from Jupiter, Io was late. It was behind schedule. Why would a moon be late? Römer realized something nobody else had the guts to say. He said, "The moon is on time. The news is late. The light carrying the picture of the moon takes time to travel across the solar system." When we are far away, the light has to travel an extra distance. It takes about 16 minutes longer. This was a shock. Before this, people thought light was instant. They thought if you open a lantern, the light is everywhere at once. But Römer showed that light is a traveler. It is a messenger. And like any messenger, it has a speed limit. It travels at 186,000 miles per second. That is fast, but it is not infinite. And because it is not infinite, we are trapped in a bubble of ignorance. We can only know what happened in the past. We can never know what is happening now. When you look at the sun, you are seeing it as it was 8 minutes ago. If the sun blew up right now, we would not know it. We would sit here for 8 minutes feeling warm and happy. The gravity would still hold us in orbit, the light would still shine, and then suddenly, 8 minutes later, the lights go out and we fly off into space. So there is a delay, a gap between reality and our perception of it. But this is just the beginning. If light has a speed, then what is that speed relative to? If I throw a baseball at 100 miles per hour on a train going 100 miles per hour, the guy on the ground sees the ball going 200 miles per hour. Velocities add up. That is common sense. But light does not play by those rules. If I shine a flashlight on a train going half the speed of light, the light comes out at the speed of light. If I stand on the ground, the light still goes at the speed of light. It does not matter how fast the source is moving. The speed of light is always the same. Now you should be saying, wait, that is impossible. You cannot have a speed that is the same for everybody. But you do. How can that be? There is only one way to fix this. If the speed is fixed, then something else has to break. Space and time have to break. If you run towards the light, your ruler must shrink. Your clock must slow down. You have to change your definitions of length and time so that the speed of light stays constant. This is where we get into the geometry of the world. Imagine a sausage, a big long salami. You can slice this salami straight down. That gives you a nice round circle. Everything in that slice happens at the same time. But suppose you tilt the knife. You slice it at an angle. Now the slice is an oval. The stuff in that slice is different. This is what happens when you move. When you start moving relative to me, you are tilting your knife. You are slicing the universe at a different angle. My now is a straight slice, your now is a tilted slice. This means that what I call the present, you might call the future. And what I call the past, you might call the present. Let us go back to our alien. The alien is 65 million light years away. Suppose the alien is sitting still. His now slice cuts through the universe and hits Earth right now in the 21st century. But imagine the alien gets on a bicycle and starts riding away from Earth, just walking speed. Because he is moving, he tilts his slice of the universe. Because the distance is so huge, 65 million light years, a tiny tilt at the alien's end becomes a massive shift in time at the Earth's end. If he rides away from Earth, his now slice tilts into the past. Suddenly, his now does not contain the 21st century. It contains the Jurassic period. It is not just that he sees the light from the dinosaurs. It is that for him, according to the geometry of space-time, the dinosaurs are the events that are simultaneous with his bicycle ride. If he turns the bike around and rides towards Earth, his slice tilts into the future. His now contains events on Earth that have not happened yet. He is simultaneous with our great-great-grandchildren. So you see the problem. If different observers can slice the sausage at different angles, then all the parts of the sausage must be real. You cannot say only the middle slice exists because my middle slice is your end slice. This suggests that the past is not gone. It is just down the sausage. The future is not empty. It is just up the sausage. We live in a block universe, a four-dimensional frozen block where everything is just there. The T-Rex is still hunting. Napoleon is still fighting. You are being born. You are dying. It is all there in the geometry of space-time. This is a very disturbing idea. We like to think we have free will. We like to think the future is open. But the physics of light suggests that the movie is already in the can. The film is already developed. We are just the projector light moving through the frames. But wait, why does this speed limit exist? Why is there a speed of light at all? If the speed of light were infinite, cause and effect would be a mess. If I could send a signal instantly, I could tell you the lottery numbers before they are drawn. The universe seems to have this speed limit specifically to protect causality, to make sure the cause always comes before the effect. Think about interaction. When you see something, it is an interaction between charged particles. You have an electron in the sun, it jiggles. When an electron jiggles, it creates a disturbance in the electromagnetic field. A wave spreads out. These ripples travel at the speed of light. Eventually, they hit an electron in your eye, and that electron jiggles. Seeing is just a delayed jiggle. Shake it here, wait a while, wiggle it there. The delay is the price we pay for existence. If there were no delay, everything would happen at once. There would be no history. The fact that light takes time gives us the separation we need to be individuals. So let us go back to the alien. The alien sees the dinosaur. Is the dinosaur real? Yes, in the grand block of space-time, the dinosaur is just as real as you and me. It occupies a coordinate in the four-dimensional manifold. Does the alien see us? No. We are in his future. But does that mean we do not exist? No. We exist in our slice. The world is dynamic when you look at it locally, but static when you look at it globally. It is like a musical score. The symphony is written down on paper. All the notes are there. The beginning, the middle, the end. They exist simultaneously on the page. But for the musician playing the piece, he experiences it one note at a time. He experiences the flow of time. We are the musicians. We are playing the score of the universe. We cannot see the whole page. We can only play the note we are on. But the physics tells us the page is there. So the next time you look at the stars, remember you are looking into a time machine. You are looking at ghosts. And somewhere out there, 65 million light years away, an alien might be looking at us. And he sees a T-Rex. And in a funny way, he is right. And we are right. Because in the physics of space-time, everything that ever was and everything that ever will be is dancing together in the silent geometry of the universe. It is a crazy world. It is a world that does not match our common sense. But as I always say, nature is not obliged to make sense to you. It is what it is. And our job is just to enjoy the puzzle.